This isn't really how I wanted to start this video, but I live in the city and it's a nice hot sunny day, and all the park settings that I wanted to go to talk about things, well, you know, it's nearly impossible to get away from people. There's a million people at all the park settings, and you know, first world problems. I live in the city, so we're just gonna wing it. We're gonna do it from the car, and why not? It's fitting. It's a video about the car. It's the 5 things I hate about my 10th gen 2018 Honda Accord. This is actually my second 10th gen. The first one I had was 2018 1.5 Sport. I love that car. It was great. It just didn't have the larger motor, the manual transmission, or sunroof, and that was kind of a deal breaker for me. This is the car I really wanted. As a matter of fact, this is the car I wanted Honda to make for a long time. A sporty Accord with you know, the newer technology, turbocharged, direct injection, power plant, and that's something that other manufacturers, Hyundai for one, have been doing since 2010, and I think it's about time that they caught up, and they did 7 years later. It's a great car overall. I love it. I've had it for exactly 3.5 years and 35,000 miles, 35,220 to be exact. Good car. Does not get as good gas mileage as the 1.5. I was averaging over 40 miles per gallon with that thing on the freeway. This one, I average probably, I would say, around 26 miles per gallon, somewhere around there. That's not really my biggest concern when I purchase a car, but you know, it's a factor. So yeah, so we'll just get into it. Number 1. I got my legal pad here, is the tuning. I hate the fuel calibration, the throttle calibration from the factory. I just can't stand it, and I should do something about it. There are tuning options out there to address this, and I haven't done it yet. But it has a bog off the line. I don't know why. Maybe it's for fuel economy, or I don't know why they did it that way, but it's just crap. It's utter crap. You have to give it a bit too much throttle, in my opinion, to get off the line, where I don't have that problem in the Type R. I have to rev this to almost 2,000 RPM to get kind of a smooth takeoff. Now, maybe that's me. If you're watching me, maybe you're watching me right now, maybe you're saying I'm retarded. I don't know. But I've had this car for that long, and I know how to drive a stick, you know, and I still have the occasional bog off the line, and it's just when you're at a full stop. And there's a fine line between bogging off the line and just roasting the tires, just lighten them up. Because there is torque down low. It's just, I wish there was a bit of happy medium there. I have no problems in my Type R with that. It drives, matter of fact, a Type R fixes all the problems, all the things that's wrong with this in drivability, if you ask me. It's just one of the best driving cars I've ever driven in my life. But that's not what this video is about. It's about the Accord. So yeah, the tuning, they could have done better. The second is on my list is the e-brake. It's an electronic e-brake. Yeah, you're not going to do any awesome maneuvers in the snow, locking up the rear, because it's an electronic e-brake. What are you going to do? You're not going to, you know, do epic moves in the snow. It's, but that's not the thing I hate about it. The thing I hate about it, I just really can't stand it. I don't know why this is a feature. Why Honda has to make it so safe. Are you, as a consumer, let me ask, are you as a consumer so stupid that you wouldn't know to put in the clutch when you start your car? And it already has the clutch safety mechanism. You have to have the clutch in to start the car. Well, you also have to have the e-brake on to start the car. Really, Honda? I mean, really? Why? It pisses me off. It's very irritating to even think about. But yes, I almost, as a reflex, when I get in here now, I do that. I set the e-brake so I can start the car the next time I get in. Otherwise, it's just annoying. You're like, oh yeah, it won't start, because it'll tell you have to put the e-brake on just to start the car. Then you're immediately going to take it back off because you're going to drive somewhere. So yeah, stupid. Third thing on my list is the wheels. Now I'm going to show a screenshot in here somewhere, me walking around the car, so you can see what I'm talking about if you've never noticed this. But it baffles me that they are good looking wheels. They're nice. The 19s, the sports, they're really nice. I guess I kind of get why they get stolen all the time. It's kind of hilarious that that's even a thing. But yeah, they get stolen all the time apparently, and people put them on like CRVs and whatnot. Granted, it's a nice design, but here's my problem with it. They really fuck with my OCD, pardon my French. Because they're directional, right? But they're only one part number. So they appear to rotate one way on one side, but when you go to the other side, they're going the other way. That drives me absolutely batty. Are you serious, Honda? You couldn't splurge the extra, I don't know how much it would cost, but in the development of the car to make both wheels appear to be rotating the same way? That bothers me. I mean, a Dodge Daytona from the 80s paid that much attention to detail, and you could get them rotating both the same way. And as a matter of fact, years ago, the 80s Preludes with the directional wheels were that way as well. So, I mean, I really think that was a missed opportunity for Honda to get it right, but whatever. It just messes with my OCD a little bit. I live with it for now. Fourth thing on my list is the tire pressure monitoring system. Now, Honda, in their infinite wisdom and their sheer genius, their system works off of the ABS system, right? I guess it measures the revolutions of each tire, which saves you a little bit of hardware costs, I guess, when you're going to swap out tires and, you know, say a sensor could go bad, you know, the TPMS monitor. But the problem is, it goes off all the time, and it's a false alarm. I would say 90% of the time when it's gone off, it's been just fine when I go pull over to check the tire pressure, and it's really annoying. I don't like that feature. I have to constantly recalibrate it. I've bagged my vehicle. I don't know if you noticed the control panel here. So when I operate the bags, that must mess with the geometry as well, because it constantly goes off now, and it's just really annoying. And that you can't read individual tire pressure settings from your display. Again, I'm going to mention Hyundai. I'm not a Hyundai fanboy, but I used to have a few Hyundais. I had a Genesis Coupe, I've had an Elantra, Sonata Turbo. I've had a few of them when I took a break from Honda. And they all had that feature. You can see where your tire pressures were at, so there's no guesswork. You didn't have to walk around the whole car, which you should probably do anyway, but that's just annoying. It's an annoyance, and I feel like they could have done better. I would prefer just having a tire pressure monitoring system with the 4 sensors. Number 5, the traction control system. Super annoying. It's very intrusive, and if you try to drive this car in heavy snow, good luck. It's very limiting. It never fully disengages, to my knowledge. Unless you get it tuned and get that feature tuned out, it's always kind of on. And I've gotten stuck a couple of times just because of that. In situations where I really needed the power to power out of a certain situation, and it wouldn't give it to me. It was just fall on its face. Oh, that's another thing about the wheels. Snow. This is the only car I've ever owned where if you're in kind of deep snow or slush, especially the slushy heavy stuff, sometimes the snow will like ball up in the inside of the wheel and cause a horrible vibration. You have to pull over and basically dig the snow out of the wheel. Only car I've ever owned that I've ever had that problem. Minor annoyance, but I thought I'd mention it. Okay, so we're gonna keep going down the list because I've got 14 things, like I said. It's not just 5. Number 6, I put a lack of an LSD. Now these are just kind of nitpicks, just so you know. Lack of an LSD, I think this car desperately needs one, especially with how long it is. It took some getting used to get used to this wheelbase. It's quite a bit, it feels quite a bit longer than the Civic. I don't know the exact specs off the top of my head. I'll probably flash them on the screen here. Yeah, a super long wheelbase, and I feel like when you're driving it spiritedly and taking some corners kind of aggressively, it does, even though it's very rigid, it flexes a bit, and you kind of tend to fry the inside tire. it's just nature of the beast. You got an open diff, you got a lot of power, driving aggressively, it's going to flex a little bit, and it's your puny anti-sway bar or anti-roll bar or whatever. It's not going to be, well, sway bar, that's what I meant to say. Your sway bar is kind of puny, and it's not going to be enough to keep you in grip on the inside tire. It's just not going to. Number 7. I guess I don't have a number 7. Number 8. I wrote down is, oh no, number 7 is the why can't I read my own handwriting? Oh, the non-matching trim. Look at me on boomer status with my legal pad. The trim on the sport models, it's cool, a cool feature on the grill. They tinted it. Why is not the rest of the trim and the emblems the same color? Like, could you not just match all the trim? That messes with my OCD again. Yeah, what were they thinking? Let's just tint the grill and nothing else. What? What, Honda? What are we doing?
What were you? Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, as if!
Like everybody else does, but I doubt it. I think what I'm going to do is embrace the chrome and actually go the opposite way, because I'm going to buck the trend. I mean, everybody else is blacking everything out. And let's face it, the murdering out thing has been a thing for years and years. I think that's actually getting kind of played out. Just my opinion. Number 8 is the paint. There is so much orange peel from this factory paint. It's, the paint from these new Honda vehicles is utter garbage. I was so excited to get this car. I didn't even look at the paint, I'll be honest. I was just like, I liked that it was black, and I'm like, you know what? This is the model I wanted with all the features. I didn't look closely at the paint with a magnifying glass. I probably should have, but it's garbage. If I get a chance, I'll show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. But man, the orange peel is not a good paint job. I may wrap this thing later. I don't know. That's enough about that. The lack of an auto dimming mirror. That's number 9. It really should have one. I think the Touring, you probably get that feature. Would have been nice in this car. I mean, this is a $30,000 car. You should have little things like that, and then also home link for your garage door. That should be a thing too. Number 11, shocks for the hood and the trunk. There should be some little struts or shocks or whatever you want to call them, gas shocks for the hood and the trunk. Why doesn't it have that? Why do we have to have prop rods and then goosenecks in the back? It's just another cost-saving measure, I guess, on Honda's part. Like, screw the consumer, they can have this, whatever. I don't know. Come on, step it up a little bit. I would like to see that. Okay. Picking up where we left off. Number 11. Number 11. Not being able to open the trunk while the car is running or the ignition is on. You can't open it. Maybe that's a security feature so you don't get jacked. But, I mean, that's probably exactly what it is. But it's annoying for me. A lot of times I'll have the car on and I just need to grab something from the trunk real quick. No dice. You gotta turn the car off to get the trunk open. That, or I'm an idiot. But it's the same way on my Type R, so maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but yeah, that's annoying. Yeah. Enough said about that. Number 12. The manual transmission doesn't have a sport mode. Now granted, you probably don't need one because you are the sport mode. You control when it shifts and how the car behaves. But what was cool about the sport mode is, and I'll show you if I find an animation, and you probably already know, again, if you know anything about Accords, but on my 1.5, CVT had a sport mode, and the whole gauge cluster would, the lighting around it would turn red, and then the tack would move over, and it'd have a little boost gauge. You would think in the more powerful 2.0T with this manual transmission sport would have that, but no. Again, what Honda? What were we thinking again? The sportiest Accord you can get. Granted, the automatic drivers, the 10-speed automatic guys are going to go, oh, ours is faster. Yeah, whatever. I would argue that the sportiest car is the manual because that is a real driver's car. But I digress. It's just my opinion. But yeah, it's why not a boost gauge? Why not the cool effects, at least on the gauge cluster? I don't know. Yeah, so the other thing is on the key fob, when you press unlock and then you press and hold it again, the sunroof and all the windows will go down automatically. Very cool feature. Very cool. They won't go up via the remote. You have to use your key. That's annoying. But why? Why can't it work the other way? I'm sure that would just be a bit of programming. Whatever, Honda. So that was number 13. Last but not least, number 14. I wish the mirrors would lower when parallel parking. How come they don't lower when you parallel park? That would be a nice feature. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, the next video we're gonna do is 5 things I love about the Honda, and they really are. I think I really only have 5 things that I put on my love video.